Hello everyone and welcome to this month's bullet journal video. This month I'm going to be using a medium I've never used before, which is this stuff, gouache, or gouache as some people call it. These are from the Arteza line, as you can tell. I got a whole bunch of them a while ago, and I've not yet had a chance to try them out. So I thought I'd give them a whirl this month on the layouts and see how they work out and see if I like the medium. Apparently, from the things that I've watched on YouTube and things, apparently they can be quite tricky to master. In considering I've not actually done any painting as such, apart from a little bit of watercolor for a long time. It's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. So yeah, let's pull out the materials that I'll need, which will be, I'm guessing, water, obviously. My actual bullet journal, which is now this chunky boy. And I've rounded off the corners and edged the corners so it's all much nicer and neater. If you want to see how I made it like this and added the little bookmarks as well, I have a video for that. I'll leave it in the cards above. I'll need a paint palette and a bit of kitchen towel just in case. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started in May's bullet journal spread. So this month's spread is, the theme for this month is going to be Streamline Moderne, which is sort of a branch of Art Deco, but it was the much later architectural style, so it was the one that was leading after the war and then sort of leading into the 50s sort of mid-century style. So it's very colourful and it's a very simplified version of Art Deco, because Art Deco was about it's actually a more 3D version of Art Deco, in the sense that traditional Art Deco buildings like the Empire State Building and the Chrysler and things is all about the facade of the building. Like, they'll decorate the facade but not the actual shape of the building, whereas Streamline Moderne was actually about shaping the building and streamlining it basically, because it was inspired by industrial factories and aerodynamics, so all the planes and the ships that were being churned out at that time in the century. So the actual building itself has developed interesting shapes, as opposed to it being a square box that's got a pretty pattern on the outside. It's actually cut into the building in formed some interesting shapes. So this is my cover page on my landscape journal. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna paint this whole thing. I'm not gonna leave any grey, and just have hopefully like a poster sort of print at the end of it. That's what I'm aiming for, with some beautiful colours of the period. I'm gonna go ahead and do the sky and the clouds first. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try and make a nice, I don't want it to be too sky blue, I want it to be like a cartoony sort of blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix a little bit of this pearl, aqua and stone blue. See, the stone blue is just a little bit too clay coloured. So hopefully I can then lighten it up, but not too much, with the pearl blue. Pearl aqua blue, I should say. So it looks like that at the moment. I didn't get paintbrushes. I didn't pull out paintbrushes. So I'll use these bunch of paintbrushes. These are a bit mix of the Art Duan textile technique brushes, which I don't think I'll use for this. But I'm going to use a paintbrush that I got in an Art Snacks box. And probably the other one as well. These are the Princeton Velvet Touch that just feel delicious. Yep, so I'll put a little bit of water on them. No, in fact, I take that back. I use this cheapish brush. I can't remember where I got this from. Just to mix the colours, so then I keep a nice point on the end of my brush. I think that's how I remember painting before. And then I've got a little tester page here that printed out a little bit wrong. Yeah, I want that a little bit lighter. So if I put some white in it as well, just to give it a boost. Oh, that might have been too much white, but we shall see. From my understanding of gouache, it's sort of the in-between of watercolour and acrylic paints. So it's not as thick and tacky as in stick. It's not as sticky, I was going to say, for some bizarre reason. And you don't get that high gloss sheen that you get with acrylic. But it's much more opaque than watercolour, but you can use it like watercolour, like you can really water it down and make it transparent. That is not what I will be doing today. Is that the right blue? I think I want it just a tad bit darker, just a tad bit darker. Where's the stone blue gone? Stone blue. Let's make it a bit darker. I don't even think that made a difference. It's still the same. I don't know, kinda. Yeah. We'll go ahead and use that, otherwise we are going to be here all day. Just take some of this colour off this mixing brush. So I think I'm going to add just a little bit more water, especially to my brush. And just water down the gouache, not by too much, just a little, because I want to get like a nice flow, because if you put it on too thick it cracks and can look chunky and show your brush marks, whereas if you make it too thin it's then not going to be as opaque. So let's dive straight in. I think I want some print paper or something underneath, just to stop any paint going onto any other pages. So let's get right in there. This brush is great for this because it lets you get right into the corners with the tip of the brush, but then put a lot of colour on with the wider parts of the brush for when it spreads out. So it's quite quick. I think that's it for the blue sky. I'm going to move on to these creamy clouds, and I think I already have the perfect colour. I don't think I have to mix, which is this pale yellow. Just put a tiny dot in the mixing palette. Where is it? Trying to use the side camera to show you. Just test it out on a piece of scrap. Should get all the blue off my paintbrush, which is difficult because I've put a lot on it. I'm like a child. More paint, more work. So we want a dab of water in there just to loosen it up a little bit. And I think, yeah, I don't need to mix it. I think it's already the perfect colour for what I wanted. So put some water in to loosen it up a bit. I pull everything so close to my face, like which is useless to you guys because you don't see it on camera. Yeah, hopefully I will get out of that panic habit. Oh my word, my English. Let's just wash this brush off a little bit because I've got to start getting so close to all the paint. Let's just really clean this brush off before I end up with paint everywhere. Alright, so let's go in and paint some clouds. Some nice sort of sun-kissed clouds is the effect I'm going for, and I have put too much water on my brush. It's making it very runny. Right, let's try that again. Let's not go near the blue for a second. Yeah. Okay, now we've finished the cover page. That I'm quite impressed with, considering it was my first go with gouache. I can see some mistakes, especially in the consistency on the clouds a little bit, but I got it perfect on the first go though. That's weird. But then lost my way a little bit with the clouds. But the blending worked quite well, trying to get different depths and shadows. So yeah, moving on. Next page is my quarantine sort of spread of changing up my routine, and also I've left space for a few different activities and things that I want to put in, but I've not quite worked out what they are just yet, so I've left that part blank. Then my next page is my usual don't quit page, which is basically my master do it page with just this month's calendar on, because I'm a bit hesitant of planning too far ahead because we're not sure what's going to happen. And then along the bottom are just some stickers that I printed off of the Odeon buildings that are sort of Streamline Moderne style. Well, they are. I don't know if you get the Odeon cinema in the States, but in the UK it's like one of the main cinema brands, and during the 40s and 50s they were building Odeon cinemas all over the place, and they all seem to be in the same sort of style. But they're all over the UK, they're not just in one place. So it was like branding of architectural style just for the Odeon buildings. These are from modernistbritain.com, so if you want to check those out and find more information about these particular buildings, then go ahead. My next page is my brain dump page. Again, more of the Odeon along the bottom because there were so many of them built. So they're all in the sort of streamline, taking the curves and the simple geometric forms from Art Deco. And then my next page is my weeklies, which we're starting first week of May is week 19. I've left space just for my days because I found this landscape spread worked really well in March. I really enjoyed that sort of having that landscape spread, so I thought I'd try and recreate it, but obviously with a streamline effect. And then I thought I'd have a visual as well because we all always need inspiration, and this is of a golf filling station in the US, because all throughout the US the sort of filling stations did take off in terms of architecture with Streamline Moderne architectural style, because it was developed on factories and vehicles and aerodynamics and ships and things, so it makes sense that the filling stations would be the same. And then week 20 is pretty much the same but changed up the colours a little bit. This image is of a old Greyhound bus station in the US, so again the buses going in with the vehicles of the Streamline Moderne. And then this monumental building, to me, looks like it shouldn't be on the pebbles of a beach. It should be in the actual water, because it does look like a cruise liner ship, which was the intention. The title of the building is is Marine Court, and it's at St Leonard's seafront in the UK. The pitch credit goes to Roth Smith. The other ones were just random Google images which ended down a long trail of where they originally came from, whereas this was straight up, I knew where that one came from. I'd love to see this image in colour, because I'm imagining it's a shocking blue sort of seafront sky that we get in the UK. And then my last week was of the Pan Pacific Auditorium building in Los Angeles, which is no longer there. It did get burnt down in the 70s, in the 80s or maybe early 90s. But that is what my cover page was based on. The colours were of this colour, but they weren't as vibrant. They were a bit more muted, more pastel-y sort of colours. But I can't seem to find a decent image that's in colour. They all seem to be black and white. And yeah, that's it for this month's bullet journal spread. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a like and subscribe to see more. So in the meantime, happy architecting.